Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another CYPRX video breakdown. In today's video, we're going to be discussing and talking about some ongoing fundamental developments and key events taking place in the credit union ecosystem. Some of the biggest organizations in the credit union space hosting massive events and how that correlates with the Metallicus ecosystem. And then we're also going to do a quick technical analysis update, taking a look at some levels to be mindful of that we're paying attention to here in the private CyberX community, utilizing our institutional software and taking a look at updates on some institutional dark pools and deltas. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed today's video breakdown and you're a Metallicus ecosystem member, do us that favor, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe. If you're new to the metal ecosystem, then pay very close attention because they are absolutely cooking in the credit union space and have been doing so as leaders in the credit union ecosystem for some time. Starting here with Arena Birkin's LinkedIn profile, the CFO and board member of Metallicus says, "My Boston area friends meet me at Harvard on Tuesday, March 17th, to talk about blockchain and hear from Marshall Hayner. Marshall Hayner, CEO of Metallicus, is pleased to take part in an invitation only conversation at the Harvard Kennedy School organized by the Business and Infrastructure Caucus. As advancements in artificial intelligence, blockchain tech, and digital financial infrastructure fundamentally reshape global markets, governments and financial institutions face increasing pressure to reevaluate the architecture, governance, and trustworthiness of public systems. The discussion will convene key technologists and educators for an off the record, I like that, exchange focused on the evaluation of blockchain AI and the transformation potential of emerging technologies." So I'm definitely going to be looking forward to any highlights that we can gather from that event, especially considering that I am in the TDBN private community. With that being said, coming over here, look what we have here. Valera Live 2026. I posted this over on X, one of the biggest credit union events of the year. And guess what they will be talking about? Digital assets, specifically where they will be able to learn more about Valera's digital asset lab and a collaborative effort that moves beyond theory and into hands-on-chain experimentation, and learn how credit unions of varying sizes can participate without taking on the legal or financial risk. Keep in mind that Metallicus was the first digital asset lab partner. And also, considering these ongoing happenings with the credit unions, remember what Senator Cynthia Lummis said just the other day on a podcast with Arena Birkin. She specifically said, "I have found the credit union approach to be embracing digital assets and using them to augment the offerings of financial products to their customers to be far more friendly toward digital assets than banks." Mr. Aquaman over here on X posted a little snippet of this X podcast. Take a second here and listen.
One of the things that Arena said that made me happy was her work with the credit unions. And I have found the credit unions approach to embracing digital assets and using them to augment the offerings of financial products to their customers to be far more friendly to digital assets than the banks. And the truth of the matter is, digital assets bring a whole new product line to both banks and credit unions that they can incorporate into their current business models.
And they are indeed incorporating them into their current business models. Taking you guys over here to the Valera website. For those of you all who are not too familiar with what Valera is, let me zoom in on this. It says here, Valera is the nation's premier payments credit union service organization, or CUSO for short, and an integrated financial technology solutions provider with over 400, that'd be crazy, with over 4 decades of industry experience and a commitment to service excellence and innovation. The company serves more than 4,000, that's crazy, that's where I was getting that 4,000 number from, financial institutions throughout North America, operating with velocity to help its clients keep pace with the rapid momentum of change and fuel growth in the new era of financial services. And keeping in mind with what Senator Cynthia Lummis just said about how credit unions are adopting this technology far more efficiently than banks are right now, well, they are for a fact. Coming over here and just taking a look at what the Valera 2026 agenda consists of. And this is taking shape April 13th, 2026. This event, for anybody that is interested, you guys can come up to the website, you can register. But more interestingly enough, coming down here and seeing what they're going to be discussing and talking about, it says right here digital assets in the future of currency, tokenized deposits, stablecoins, blockchain. And this is going to be hosted by Nathan Meyer, the senior innovation strategist at Valera. When you click on this, just reading thoroughly through it, it says, what's your stand on digital assets? For credit unions, the question is no longer if digital assets matter, but how to evaluate them responsibly, collaboratively, and in alignment with a cooperative value. In this session, we'll explore the rapidly evolving digital asset landscape through a credit union lens, covering tokenized deposits, stablecoins, and blockchain based settlement, as well as emerging use cases that directly impact liquidity, payments, and collaboration and operational efficiency, and learn more about Valera's Digital Asset Lab, a collaborative move that goes beyond theory and into hands on experimentation, and learn how credit unions of varying sizes can participate without taking on legal or financial risk. So, there it goes on to talk about Valera's Digital Asset Lab. And then, even a second time, they mention it here in their breakouts sessions. If you come over here, you go to the breakouts tab and you come down here to the breakout sessions, it says, again, what's your stand on digital assets, and then repeats that. So I just find it very interesting because for those of you all who don't know, especially if you're new to the TDBN community, the Metallicus ecosystem, well, the first platform partner for this Valera Digital Asset Lab effort was Metallicus. And it says here, the first platform partner will be Metallicus, a pioneering fintech bridging traditional finance with advanced solutions built on blockchain technology. As a strategic investor in Metallicus, Valera is partnering with the organization to explore how its multi-purpose blockchain infrastructure enables quick learning, testing, and building of solutions most important to Valera's Digital Asset Lab efforts. Joining Valera's Digital Asset Lab is a significant step in our mission to deliver safe, scalable, and compliant blockchain-powered solutions for credit unions nationwide, said Marshall Hayner, CEO of Metallicus. Valera's Digital Asset Lab, which will first open its participants in Valera's Innovation Alliance, will comprise platform partners and credit unions that will first focus on stablecoin and tokenized deposits research and development. Ultimately, this group will launch proof of concepts and pilot programs to test stablecoin initiatives and gather feedback across audiences with a goal of launching tools and products to further credit union stablecoin journeys. That is huge, with the goal of launching tools and products. This will include understanding the US stablecoin market and cross border opportunities, as well as a potential role in the shared branch through new experiences and faster settlement. So this is just huge. And, coming straight from an organization that has over 4,000 financial institutions throughout North America and is one of the biggest, or if not the nation's premier payments, so probably the biggest CUSO, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't say that directly, but it says the nation's premier payments credit union service organization. So I say that they're probably the biggest, if not the biggest, one of the biggest for sure, right? So huge coming from them to see what they're going to be talking about in their breakout sessions and their agenda in this Valera, live 2026 event that's taking shape. Huge event. Make sure that you guys are paying very close attention. I'll be trying to tap into this event and see if we can gather up any juice from it, if they do stream it or, on a release any video clips of it. So definitely be mindful of that over on our X. We will cover that in the coming days ahead. Now, in regards to technical analysis, real fast, coming over here and taking a look at our institutional dark pools and levels to be mindful of in our metal and XPR analysis section. I just want to scroll up here and highlight the last institutional dark pools that our scalper had identified. You guys can see them here. Also, we had another update, and I just want to show you guys how accurate they are. Back on, let's see what date this was. Sunday, February 1st, you can see that our institutional scalper had highlighted the 10,769 cent psychological level on metal. Taking a look right now on TradingView, we are on the daily time frame, and you can see how accurate of a role this level has recently played. As of the local bottom on the metal blockchain, we can see the 10,769 cent psychological level has acted as a support, and we are starting to print a delta held pattern, where we're starting to create higher highs and higher lows off of the bounce from this dark pool. Now, if this momentum sustains itself, the next institutional hurdle that we would need to see overcome on metal before we see any higher prices is the next sell dark pool coming in at the 18,432 cent psychological level. So that is the next level on our radar to be mindful of if this bullish momentum continues, that we would need to see buyers overcome, turn into support, and overpower sellers at if we want to see any higher prices. Now, the good news is that the next institutional hurdle on our radar above the 18-cent psych level is 31,820. So if we were to see a sustainable break and hold above the 18,432, that could open the door for a revisitation of the 31-cent psych level. That is a far stretch from where we are currently trading at. We have to be mindful of the downside as well, which here at CYPRX we are very realistic in adhering to. With that being said, if the 10,769 cent psychological level where we've recently held support at on the metal blockchain cannot hold and sustain itself with bullish price action above, that opens the door for some possible lower targets that I'm personally going to be stacking a substantial amount of metal at if they did come into fruition. To the downside, we have the 0.7950 cent level, and we also have the 0.4920 on our radar to the downside as targets to be mindful of if this current support threshold does not hold. Now, keep in mind that these updated levels can be found inside our private CyPrX community across multiple different asset classes and multiple different cryptocurrency trading pairs. In particular, this is our Metal XPR chat. So if you guys want access to these accurate levels, if you guys are in the TDBN community and you're always constantly looking for good dollar cost average positions or good day trading positions to be, locked in on a Metal XPR and loan, head over to cyprxtrading.com. We'd love to have you guys on the team. Tap into our private Discord as our scalper is constantly giving these private updates in our community. With that being said, you guys now have two targets to be mindful of to the upside. 18 cents is the most immediate threshold that we need to see overcome by buyers before we expect any higher prices. Above 18 cents, the next area where we could see sellers meet with buyers is the 31,820. I'm sure that we'll have another update before these levels come into fruition. Real quick video breakdown today. Many blessings to you guys. Be cognizant, be aware out there. Remember that none of this is financial advice. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown.